All right, boys and girls, we're going to start to work with the Piskel app. It's actually just a website. It's called piskelapp.com. I will write this on the whiteboard so you can copy this and go to the site. Once you're at the site, either you or your partner need to sign in, and you'll use this account each week that you add to your design. So right now we're just practicing. We're still going to sign in just in case we want to save our project. So I'm going to click on the top here, sign in first. You're going to be using your Google account that you used to log into the Chromebooks. Same thing. So I'll click on mine, have to type in my password and click next. And once I'm here, here's your profile. Here's the animations that you have created, and you probably won't have any here yet, so you'll have to create a new one today. So you're going to click Create Sprite. So once I'm in here, I'm just going to X out of that. And here are a bunch of tools that I'll show you right now. Here's where your animation will be created, and here's a little preview of what your animation video is. And on the sidebar here, I'll show you how to save your project and a couple of these other tools. So the first tool I want to show you is the pen tool. This is just a tool that will allow you to add one single pixel in a single color. If you want to change the size of the pixel, you can go to this menu up here. You can change it to a medium pixel, so that's 9 pixels together, or you can make a really big pixel, so that's 16 pixels together. So you can use the pen tool to add pixels in a line. You can add them in just dots, single ones. You can add them in kind of a circle motion. So this is just like drawing with a pencil, but you're just adding squares. You can change the color down here with the color picker. So I can choose any of these colors on the color picker. So if I chose red, it will make red pixels. Down here is the paint bucket tool. So if I chose the paint bucket tool and I chose a different color, maybe blue, and I decided to fill this whole area in, it would make this entire area of pixels one color. I could even do this for the background as well. Okay, moving down here is the eraser tool. I can erase a certain area and it will go back to just the regular background with no color. I can even change the pixel size and just erase a huge area if I wanted to. The stroke tool right here is where you could add a whole line of pixels. So see how they're staying together in a line. So a straight line or a diagonal line. The rectangle tool is just like what it says. You create rectangles by dragging. The circle tool right next to that will make a pixel version of a circle. So obviously it's not going to be completely rounded. It's still geometric shape pixel style like we learned about last year. Okay, we're going to go down here to the selection tools. The selection tools are going to be really helpful to you when you want to copy an area and paste it to a new frame in your video, okay? So before we talk about that, though, let's talk about the frames. The frames right here are each of the little still motions of your video that when you put them together create a whole moving video. So I can click Add New Frame, and so far my video has 4 different frames in it. So if you see my preview right here, you can see that my video is just blinking because there's only one frame. So it's going from my first frame to the blank frames. But if I take this frame and I added a pixel or a color to it like this, now you can see my video is going from one frame to the next. So it's blinking 2 frames. If I added a color here, same thing. It would be 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3 over and over. I can actually change the speed of the preview by going down, making it slower, or making it go really fast. So we'll experiment with that more later. I can actually copy a frame too. So let's say I really like this frame and I want to copy it a few times. I can go to this duplicate frame button and copy it. Or if I don't need that many, I can go and delete one. I can even take the move tool and move the frame around like this. So see, now my preview is 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so let's look at the selection tools. The selection tools are going to be your best friend because let's say I have this frame here and then this frame here, but I want this frame to change from 1 to 2 very subtly. So maybe I want to select a certain area and just copy that one area. So I can click the rectangle selection tool and I'm going to highlight one area that I want to copy. And then in the selection tool here, it tells you to just click Command C to copy and Command V to paste. So I'm going to click Command C on my keyboard. I just copy that area. And if I want to paste it here, Command V, and I've just pasted that selected area that I selected. So I can just take one single area and copy it. You can also do this with the lasso selection tool. So you can select an area by just dragging like this instead of a rectangle. Okay, color picker tool is also really helpful because if I have a color in this frame that I really like, I can click on the color picker tool and I can go click on that specific color and it will copy it down here. So I can use this color to draw with on a different frame and use that color. Okay, there's a couple other tools here that will do some interesting things for you, like the dithering tool kind of makes a grid formation. Paint all pixels of the same color. So it's kind of like the paint bucket tool here. I can click that and I can click on just the red pixels, and if I chose a different color like blue, then all the red pixels would change to blue. Or all my green pixels will change to yellow. So that's kind of like the paint bucket tool, okay? All right, so now that I have some images here, I'm gonna show you my video in my gallery. So if I leave this page and I don't save it, I'm gonna go back to my gallery and show you my final video. So my final video is here. It's based on the theme of kindness. So it starts here in this box, and it starts with this boy, and he's kind of sad. He's got some eyebrows pointing down and his smile pointing down. And then in this box, the sky starts to turn a little stormy, and then his eyes point down. So there's really subtle motions happening. In this one, his eyes just point down. That's the only difference between these two. Then as you get to here, his eyes close and start crying. The rain gets a little heavier. So each box is very subtle. There doesn't have to be a big change between each box. So now there's a hand that pops out. Then a flower appears in the hand and his smile changes a little bit. Then he gets happy. The sun comes out. His smile changes. He gets really happy. And then there's some hearts in the background. So this is what it looks like put all together. Whoop, let's go back. I can go back to my gallery here, and I'll show you the whole video all together. So I can just click View Video instead of Edit, and you can see my video all together. So each frame that I added is a different motion, and when you put them all together, it makes a whole video. So we're going to try and work with at least 10 frames for our final project. But today we're just going to practice with the pixel tools and get a feel for how they work. Later we will plan out what our story and our theme will be, but right now I just want you to practice.